Oh, I see that now we are streaming. I hope that we have fixed all the issues. And well, hello, everyone. Here's Data to Speak community expert session. And today we are discussing winners from the previous year Make Your Data Speak Award. And I have invited our honored experts and speakers, Kavita Behera, Adewale Yusuf, Mike Konstantoulakis, and Vani Agarwal. And I'm Alex Kolokolov, founder of Make Your Data Speak Award and community. And now I'll ask our experts to introduce themselves, and after that we will discuss the best projects from our award. Who's first?
I can go first. So thanks, Alex, for inviting me. So I'm Kavita Behera. I'm product manager at PowerViz. At PowerViz, we develop custom visual for Power BI. Apart from that, I'm a Power BI developer and researcher by profession, and I am majorly inspired by data design thinking and data visualization aspect in BI space. Apart from that, I generally feel like that for every visual, there is a use case, there is a space, and we should never limit our communication when it by any tool or any option. And I'm really glad, like through my tips and tricks, or the ideas I share, I can help my audience to create some better thing which is beyond just tools and options and charts, and you can give a better communication. And yeah, I'm really excited to have our discussion on these visual, because I really feel that storytelling and data visualization is going to be a major aspect of our discussion. So yeah, that's all.
Great. Welcome, Kavita.
All right, I can quickly go next. Hi guys, so my name is Vani Agarwal and I'm based out of Delhi, India. I'm currently working as a data visualization engineer at Expedia Group for the last 2 years. And I've also been selected as a Tableau ambassador by Tableau for the last 3 consecutive years. I've been greatly involved in the Tableau community, mentoring and teaching people Tableau and data visualization storytelling. And teaching is really a great hobby of mine. I keep mentoring people and helping them out with their doubts. So I'm really looking forward to help out the future participants of this challenge by discussing the dashboards today with all of you.
Great, nice to meet you. And I'm happy to keep the balance between platforms. So we have Power BI, we have Tableau. And who's next, gentlemen?
Go next. So thanks, Alex, for inviting us. I'm Mike. I think it's easier to pronounce it that way. I'm coming from Greece, and I've studied finance as a bachelor, but for the last 10, 12 years, I've been working in the area of data and analytics. And my current work and also my passion is how to communicate that effectively, like how you can use, as Kavita said, the best visual, the best message, the best tool in order to present data for your audience to understand. So it's really interesting to see what our contestants have to present, and looking forward to it.
Great. Welcome, Mike. Hi, Adewale.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Alex, for inviting us. I'm Adewale Yusuf. I'm a Microsoft Most Valuable Professional in Data Platform. I focus mainly on AI and then data analytics and visualization. My current job, I currently work with Avande in Dublin, Ireland, as senior BI consultant. So I've been doing this for a couple of years, probably 8 years now. So it's an amazing experience to be here and to also share the experience with our audience as well. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, so let's come to the review, and let me remind how was it going last year, and how we repeating this year. So we had two nominations, business dashboards and data art and storytelling. And I think you know that we have there are different data design, data storytelling awards, but topic of data analytics, professional business data visualization is not enough represented and maybe not correctly evaluated. That's why we have divided it for two different topics, different nominations. And we had winners, and also we have divided it for students and professionals to provide a chance for students to show their skills. And among professionals, we provided different data sets, but also each participant could use his own data set. And we have at the first place visualization of football data. We have projects from students and also only among professionals who we had different data storytelling topic on actual environment and ecological topics. And let's start from the first topic, which all we are familiar with. It's dashboard, but storytelling dashboards telling us about history of World Cups. And surprise, surprise, it was developed on Power BI platform. And so we have this. Let me refresh and start over to show that we can select the language. And the author of this dashboard is from Brazil, Filipe Martins. Yes, now we will, oh no, I have selected, English or Portuguese, English, and we start our analysis. So we have data for different, so we have flags of countries which hosted this championship, matches, players, all the statistics. So maybe, so I'm going to give a word to you, my honored guests, and maybe you will guide me which part of dashboard do you want me to highlight while you will tell your opinion about this visualization. What maybe pros and cons do you see in this approach? Who wants to start?
Okay, so in this report, when I opened, the first thing that won me over is that language support at starting, that this creator has put two languages, one English and this, and that's one of the common requirement if we judge this as a business report, because different language support, you work on globally with different countries, and the way he has done it so beautifully, like even on this page there is that PT and EN at bottom, and on any page if you go, you do this change and it's work very seamlessly. So that creation that he has done, that shows the amount of effort being put. So that's the first thing like impressed about this candidate. Okay, yeah, this has done very well. So yeah, that's one point.
Okay, I agree with you that it's a good example of data visualization, and many of these approaches can be applied for business data.
Yes, if you're looking or creating this like in challenge for business dashboard, that's something you will look for. Like if you see in this report, like again, sorry if I'm talking, anyone can jump in. Like I felt the layout is pretty basic. Like if it's a square, then a box. Like in layout, it's nothing 3D. It's nothing you cannot create. You need a very design tool. But the way he has implemented each and every feature, that feel like, okay, the brain has put on each and everything. Like he has put that thought, who is going to use or read this report or consume that. So that part I really liked about this report.
And on the back of what Kavita said, I think it's interesting that actually he or she didn't actually use 3D and confusing charts. It's pretty straightforward. So even if you have no idea or no interest about football, it's so simple and so enticing and so tidy that you're attracted to check the numbers and the data. So even if you're not interested at all, if you see they follow the visual hierarchy. So on the left-hand side, you have all the basic data in big, nice icons. And then on the top of the screen, you have like all the basic information. And as you follow down, yeah, exactly, in both screens that you showed, it has more and more information. So it's not like everything is thrown at the dashboard, but it's very, very tidy.
I agree with both of these guys, and it looks very, very clean. Like there's good white spaces. And I like that he has not used colors or images in the background of the boxes. Like it's very clear, it's with a lot of information. So there's good storytelling. But there's just one confusion on my part, like someone who does not follow the sport at all. When I select a particular country at the top, some of it gets filtered for the country, yet some of the charts still show, like the stadiums show a worldwide view, and the right side, the national teams still show all, like for all the countries. So just a bit confusing for me that I'm seeing a lot of information in the middle for the entire world, and some of it is getting filtered as per what I filtered at the top. So for someone who is not familiar with the sport, I got a bit confused in this respect. But visually, it looks very pretty with a lot of information. So that's something really good.
Yeah, yes.
Just to add, I think one thing that actually marveled me about the report is what Kavita had said. Immediately I entered the report, I just see an option to be able to switch between two languages. That was absolutely amazing. Immediately I entered the report. And as Mike said, I don't actually like football actually. So I'm not a fan of football. But when I entered the dashboard, I was able to kind of relate to what I can see in the dashboard. I even kind of do some analysis to check, okay, so what has been happening in football over the years? Because one thing about building a dashboard is not just for visualization's sake. It's not just for your report to be beautiful. It's also about the insight you are trying to bring out from that report and the story you are trying to tell. And in terms of the story, I can tell you that this user has actually tell the story very well. He did a lot of great things on the dashboard, and he actually told a lot of story. But if I just want to give just maybe one or two review, I can say the only thing I can actually see in this dashboard is probably information overload somehow. So I can see there's a lot of information that I need to process. I can see the creator used two tips very well, which makes a lot of sense actually. But I can see some things that can actually be better. I like his color combination. I think he kind of consistent on his color. You know, there's on dashboard you see blue, then you see green, then you see purple and orange, but this creator is kind of very consistent with his color. Overall, I think is a great one.
Okay. But in my opinion, from the design point of view, I think that it would be better if the author reduced the number of colors and the number of layouts, because originally we see this picture of stadium. The next stadium, the next picture of the goalkeeper, and the next layer we have this widgets with black, almost black background, gradient blue background, another background for the title World Cups, and another dark blue background for the left panel. And so we have about 4 different layers, and it's too much. So we can reduce it just for 2. Okay, I don't mind of background picture, but if we even remove all the pictures and make and use just dark solid background or slight gradient, it would look not so overloaded. So now, of course, it looks not, but it looks a bit dense. So that information density is equal is good, but I think that it might look better if we will reduce number of layers and gradients. That's my portion of critics.
Yeah, and one thing Vani said that, when she also looked at the report and same, because I don't watch football, some information was hard for us to relate. So if somewhere there could be a text written kind of summary or something to read, that might help user like us who are unaware of the data. Like if someone who's following football, maybe all of this makes sense to them, but everything means or which two teams are fighting because they're following up. Like if this would have been cricket match, maybe we could have instantly relate, but some text information could have been one thing. Like even if you don't have some, for few users who like reading rather than viewing, you should keep some sort of summary or what
like
suggests of
description.
everything. Yes, what we are looking at.
Yeah. So to add to that, I think I will start with background pictures. Background pictures has been, I think, a topic that a lot of people discuss, whether it is good in visualizations to kind of put the pictures in your background, or whether you should not use a picture at all. But for me, I would say it actually depends on the creator, whoever is creating the report. If there's a necessity for you to kind of put a picture there, you can actually put it, but let it be very, very, very grayed out in such a way that the picture is not trying to take over the story you are trying to tell. When your user is looking at the dashboard, they can see the story you're trying to tell, not like the picture is taking over everything. And in terms of color, I can still say that for me, the color is kind of still great. And that's because the color that this creator used here is still kind of related in a way. And he blend it over with some, probably, let me say, a dark or lighter shade of the color. Not like the color is different in a way. It's just like it's a darker and a lighter shade of that color. The only thing that is probably conflicting with the color is because he used the picture with the color, and then sometimes it's look odd, but sometimes it still look great. But it can also improve the report by reducing the amount of visualizations it has on the page. For example, the previous page that we are looking at, the general page, this page is kind of makes sense because the information is kind of reduced. And for those that watch football very well, you see that whenever they want to start a football, probably on a football show, I think this looks exactly like what they usually show. To kind of show the scores of each of these players. This looks similar to that. And I think this is what the creator is trying to mimic. But for the general page, I still think that the information there is too overload. Probably the creator should reduce the number of visuals that he has there. For me, the word map visual is kind of off for me. Even if you want to show the word map visual, you can probably make a drill down or a drill through where you can go to another page and you'll be able to see the information based on that. Yeah, I think description is also perfect, like Kavita said. So because you may be lost if there's no description. So description in visualization is also great.
Okay, let me sum up.
Sorry, there's one thing I just want to show. Can you go to general page? I don't know how many people have seen that. Can you click on that add button in the stadium by max attendance? After that, there's a search icon. There's a plus symbol. Yeah, if you click on this. So it opens up another pop-up. It takes bit time to load, but then it opens. So yeah, this one thing again, like the tooltip this person who worked on, like that person really put effort. Like each tooltip is very good. Like in Power BI, because I'm a Power BI user, generally people keep a default tooltips, or even if they go with custom tooltips, the size are awkward, or when you hover over it, it's bit not always best. But in this case, every tooltip was justified where it has been kept the size, the ratio, the information it's showing. So I think that's one of the reason this report deserves to win. So yeah, apart from all the critic, tooltip is something everyone should take inspiration from this report, how well he has done that area.
And I can tell you there's a lot of work being put into this, because even if you click on the slicers at the top that shows different football time, or let me say year, you see that some charts are changing as well. So this person really put a lot of work into this. Yep.
Yeah, it's like layers in layers, which Alex said that it's too much, that there's so many layers to access. But I think that layers sometimes get intriguing. Oh, inside this, there's another information. So yeah, if you want to dig deep.
Yeah.
Yes, and I agree with you that there's a big job behind this single or two screens, but it's a complex BI project. And in terms of story, okay, of course, it's a great job. And usually, Tableau Gallery is famous for its sports statistic dashboards about basketball, baseball, sometimes football, but there's a lack of good storytelling projects in Power BI community, and it's a great example for sports statistics. And let's go to the next project. So it was the best professional dashboard, and we understand that the author Philip Martins is a very experienced BI analyst. And we had special nomination for students, for people who are who don't have so many years of experience, but we judged these student projects, especially among people who just started their career, or just for several months or years. And this project was developed on our data set about human resources statistics, about demo company, and the author of this project, Sandra Asage, she has developed these traditional classic dashboards. So, Delbert, what do you think about this project? It pros and cons.
So maybe I can start with this one.
Okay.
So I really like the use of simple charts over here. A lot of people just go into a lot of complex chart types when they try to show something. So I like it how he has just simply used bar charts and tables to easily show data. Really like the employee information table. It's very neat and clean and very easy to understand. But coming to the things which also the color combination, black really goes with yellow, so it's looking really good. But coming to few things which did not make a lot of sense to me is especially the top KPI bar where we see the active and terminated employees. So active and terminated employees have a separate number, but male and female employees is like a combination of both. So I'm not sure how to read this in the sense that it's just shown male and female employees. It does not sits well with the story. I would like to see male and female out of active or either terminated. So just like the KPI bar is not at par with the story. Like it could have been broken down, had more filters for better understanding. Because right now it makes no sense for me to know male and female, and that's it. Similarly, with the maps, he has colored the maps as per the existence of employees, but the size of the map is as per the size of the state, not really, it's not really showing me It's just showing me that in these states, my employees exist, I think. So this map maybe could have been removed or could have had more context to it. So these two charts, these two could have been better. And yeah, that's all.
Okay. Next.
Yeah, there was so many critiques. So one thing, because the student has created, I was bit less harsh while reviewing this. And one thing good on this report is, of course, the way this user has created color and tried to make things uniform. That's good. Few things this person could have unified more. Like if you see status by manager is center aligned, employee number of department is left aligned, and then employee information is again left aligned, but it has yellow highlight. So there's some of that unity concept is missing from this report. But then if realistically we think it's a HR dashboard, so it's meant for HR, and again, not to judge anyone, according to me, HR are not the most analytical person. So for them, a simple dashboard, realistically, even if we are creating, the more simpler you keep for non-technical people, it's easy. So from that point of view, this user has done a good thing, that very minimal detail they want to know about a person, just search from employee information, see that detail. But as Vani said, some information could have been improved, like the visualization, that context is missing in many places.
That's a interesting comparison, that for the experienced analyst, this dashboard has no deep diving story, but for the beginner, for the amateur analyst, and we understand that recruiters, human resources managers sometimes are not work with not big data, and they just need to get a simple picture overview, and this dashboard provides this brief overview, but not so many options to slice and dice data.
Yeah, so to add my option for a student category to do this, I think the person actually, let's have a round of applause somehow, because even a professional in the industry may not be able to create something as simple and as nice as this. And I think it's kind of straightforward. So for me, people usually think dark mode report probably is not that nice, but the way this user kind of put it together, it's make dark mode easy. Although what I can just advise is maybe when you are working on this report, next time you can probably put a button where you can use to switch between a dark mode and a light mode, because some people, dark mode does not really synchronize well with them because of probably their highs. And another thing I will also going to add is there should be comparison actually. So when you are creating a report, there's actually no story in telling me an absolute number, or just telling me just career build is 23, or you just tell me activate staff is just 207. So you need to be able to compare with something, because when you are doing comparison, that's when you are telling a story. For example, you are telling me maybe, for example, we have 100 people activate staff this year, and then we have maybe 208 activate next year. So that is telling me that one person actually joined the company from last year to this year. So that's a story I can derive from this. And then you can kind of do a lot of comparison with this data set as well, because here I see the person just have employee informations to the right, where you can just switch from one employee to another, from one employee to another. There's actually no comparison basically. So there should be a bit of comparison in the dashboard to tell more story.
And again, I totally agree with you. And so I wish to the author, to Sandra, to keep this style when she will apply, when she will visualize more complex data with a deep story, but keep this simple way with clear visuals, and each single visual looks perfect. course, on a black
Yeah,
background.
I actually have a question for our panel. Because this is done by a student, but if instead of the student, if you have to do the same HR dashboard, what are the 3 changes you would like to do, or slightly make change in this report to make it better? So yeah, everyone can answer something.
Okay, so okay, Mike, you want to go ahead? Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, first of all, it's pretty easy for professionals to see it, but I fully understand that the student cannot, that it's actually 2 different uses of dashboard. It's like a strategic one, and it's like an operational one. So on the left-hand side, 1/3 of the screen that shows employee information in a very detailed way. Basically, this will be used by HR employee or HR admin to change some names on see some status. So this could be a separate completely tool. Whereas the first one can be used from anyone in HR, from the HR director to the head of HR, etc., etc. So the first one was to split the 2 uses. The second would be, as you all mentioned, like get rid or replace a bit the yellow everywhere. And the third, to tidy up a bit the information, because on the bottom side, we have employee satisfaction and manager name. On the left, we have a big map. And somewhere in there, we have 4 KPIs that, as Vani said, male and female doesn't make sense in terms of the overall. So either inactive or terminated, something like that. So split the dashboards, change the colors a bit, and make the KPIs more prominent from my side.
Yes, to sum up, we understand that for the student project in terms of data visualization, it's very well done. But in terms of business story, it requires more experience for this. So it's not about algorithm, it's about the sense or watchfulness, or what is a good KPI, what should we put on top, what should we highlight on a map, and combine the story. And yes, it requires this experience, and that's one of the reasons why we run this award to give this feedback for our participants and share your professional experience. Okay, so all we are familiar with the efforts, and let's go to the next part of our party, to the data storytelling nomination, and our winner, Martina Dossi, and she has told us story about social problem in Rwanda. Let me start from this point. So there are isolated regions with these bridges, walking bridges, and she told us story. It's just a brochure, just 4 pages for print with book orientation, and let me come through these pages briefly. Overall description, and from page to page we go to a more complicated visualization, and even this unusual, even it looks like a chord diagram, but actually I can't remember the correct name of this chart.
This is network graph, that one.
Yes, thank you. And our judges gave the most points for this project. And what do you think about it?
Okay, so if I may go first, I think the infographics is amazing. So this report is for printing. correct, right? It's not like an interactive dashboard where you, so this is a printing report, but the infographic is amazing. I can tell a lot of work that goes into this design at the back end, because this is a lot of work at design. And what I love about this is the simplicity aspect of it. So it's very, very simple, although this is not really showing like the kind of visuals that we are kind of more familiar with, but it's telling us the story in terms of probably more infographics way, which make it make a lot of sense. And the simplicity, the color use, the descriptions in each of the reports that make you really understand what this means. And I think for me, it's absolutely amazing. And I may probably work with this person on an infographic project.
Yes, I agree with you that it's a great simplicity.
It's true, and it's very appealing, isn't it? Like you want to read the story because the graphs are so unusual and so like appealing, and you try to understand what's going on there with all the small circles and lines, and then you have like beautiful, bigger fonts that say what the story is about, and then you read the story, and then you have the supporting graph, and it goes flawlessly. Like Yusuf said, you could print it out and put it in a wall or in front of your desk to actually learn about it.
I absolutely echo these two. Like, this looks absolutely beautiful. Something we, would like to print and keep. Love the white space and the use of colors. I think the best part about this is that she has broken down the entire story into different parts. And this is what I call storytelling. It's just not things put together, just not some graphs. It's an actual story, takes me to the entire journey. So I love that. And the second base thing about this is that although she has used complex charts, which is not very friendly for everybody, like people need to be from some analytical background to understand this, but she has extremely used labels extremely well. Like, I see everywhere, wherever she has used chart types, which is not very common, she has given proper labelings as to how to read them, which is very important. So that's really good presence of mind. I love this visual completely.
Yeah, it's a good keyword that it's flawless, really.
Yeah. So yeah, I agree with what Vani has said, that it's simple, the context, everything is put, and because we all are data analysts or BI analysts, so it look very good for us. But I really doubt how many actual managerial level people would like to decode. Like, for me, it's very interesting to match the color with this circle, match this with the legend, and read that information and understand. But I really doubt how easy it's for normal people to understand this information. Like, again, it's good for advanced level, but not good for a normal person who's just trying to get this information. They might prefer more simple version, like the last page, that last chart that has, I'm even not sure what kind of chart this one is. Is it a area chart? Is it a Sankey chart? Like, this one is something which kept me confused. Like, I still don't know what is the context of this one. So yeah, that's just one negative point among all the positives that it had.
Yeah, I know the one. It looks like parallel coordinates chart, and at the same time, it looks like ribbon chart. But actually, to be honest, now when I look at a glance, I don't remember the correlation that this chart explains.
So for me, if I just simply explain, so like Kavita said, the chart may be complex to people that are not really into analytics, and most especially statistics, right? But for people that really understand it very well, it's very simple and it's kind of straightforward, because this person just this is like a ribbon chart. So it splits different, what we have at the top now, location, the Gahora, Ramara, Kanyarira, Rimbu, Murega. So this is like a split of different locations, right? And then this person is trying to explain what the size and the split of each of those key metrics that they have to the left, which is the worship, education, healthcare, visiting family. So if you look at worship, for example, you will see that worship in this location called Gahororo is kind of very high. They kind of worship a lot there, and they have a lot of people that kind of worship in that particular location. That is why the bar is kind of wide. You see the line is kind of wide. It's kind of wide in that location. But when it comes to the Rahama location, there's a little bit of trends down right there when it comes to that location. They don't kind of worship probably that much compared to the Gorora location. And then if you look at the way it's trending down, you understand there are even some locations that worshiping is even the least of what they kind of do in that location. If you look at the location like Kayari, you see that what they do mostly is visiting family or friends. Visiting family or friends. So if you look at that line that was big, visiting family or friend, you will see that that was a little bit bigger for Kanyarira and Rinvubu, something like that. So it takes time for you to be able to understand
how do you think? Would it be easier to display with classic stacked bar chart?
Yeah, it's maybe easier, but the point I think this creator is trying to do here is infographics, right? So the creator is not trying to use the normal visuals that we are familiar with. He's just trying to create an infographics, like not really a visual and not really a graphics. It's just infographics. And I think that's the point the creator is trying to show us here.
Yes, and again, it's about a balance. So we need to develop something eye-catching, and we lose clarity because if we could display the most of this information with tables and matrices and even bar charts.
Yep.
But it could be not so attractive. And if we will compare to this dashboard, and to be honest, almost all the visuals are just tables, table, matrix. Of course, it's well designed, but our dashboard mindset, our table mindset is everything is almost tables. Of course, with design features. And here we have unusual visuals, and let me find this project. And I agree that as a business data analyst, I'd like to have another one summary page in terms of single screen, single dashboard with key findings, key maybe cards or simplified visuals about all these 4 sections. So, do we want to get a summary dashboard from this infographic story?
I think that's a good point, but I think the idea of what this creator is trying to point out to us is different from the visual of the one we check in terms of the football dashboard, right? The football dashboard is a regular dashboard, the regular visualizations that you see in the corporate world. But this one, it's another type of visualization in my own understanding. It's not really the usual type of visualizations that probably business users are familiar with. This is strictly related to more in-depth into statistics and trying to kind of show more infographics, showing graphics instead of visual, right? And the way you connect graphics together to also tell a story.
Okay, so that was an example of this creative storytelling printed research. And to sum up, business data analyst should have skills not only for dashboarding, but also for telling the story, and sometimes use unusual visuals to attract interest of attract the attention of the audience. And we have another one project, and that's pretty interesting because we had another one nomination, auditory choice or people choice, and our conference participants vote for the best project in their opinion, and that's a winner. This infographics explains us these trends of migration of skilled people, technical skilled professionals across the continents, and left part is people lost net value per 10,000, and right part is skilled people gained. And we see that we have this teeny line of people who has left North America, and this bold blue line of people who came to North America. And another trend, Latin America and Caribbean people are leaving this continent, and also there is a flow of arriving people, and we have the continent which is closer to the balance, Middle East and North Africa, Sub-Saharan Africa, Asia, East Asia is balanced, and South Asia people are leaving, and a few people are coming. That's a visualization which people like, and so they didn't vote for this complicated and deep story. They chose this simple, bright picture. What do you think about it?
I think, if I might word, I think this shows that people obviously always go for what's easy to understand, easy to read, no matter how good the other one is, or how long and explanatory the other one is. So it's always good to be short and simple. It's always good to have a summarized point of view, if you can. And I'll again echo what I said before. It's a really good practice to explain how to read a chart whenever you use a chart type which is does not falls into the normal into the regular chart categories like Sankey or even this one. So I again loved how she has, or he above has explained in a small small place, that how to read this chart, how to read the colors, how to read the lines. The labeling is on point. So I'm sure it must have been really easy for people to understand and to grasp than the other visualization, which was very good.
Yeah. So yeah, compared to the last visual we have seen, again, they were amazing, but that was hard to read. And as Vani said, this is easy. Like when I saw this, I just need to see two things: color to compare 2019 versus 2018. That color indicate, and size indicate the volume that has been either gain or loss. So just two information in one visual for 6, 7 countries. Like it's just three fields I have to retain in order to read this chart. That much information anyone can retain and understand. So from that point of view, it was done wonderfully. And it was not just the visual, but the thing we are asking since the first football report, we should need some context. So say there is a conclusion at bottom and there is an introduction at top. So it's like a well summarized infographic. It's not a dashboard, but a well summarized infographic with the details that I'm looking for. That what happened with skill migration.
And it has a very interesting topic, right? I mean, everything has like the HR dashboard, the football and stuff, but tech skills migration is very trendy and very interesting, at least for all the participants here. So that helps as well.
Okay, to her, this is an amazing infographics again, and I think this is a well job and well done. I like the description part of it. It's kind of describing what the dashboard is all about. Even the color, the explanation of the color is kind of amazing, right? And even the design, because these are not common visuals. I'm sure you may probably not see this kind of visuals in most of the kind of visuals that people build. These are just infographics, right? And then I think I'll give kudos to the person that created this. For me, what I usually advise when it comes to dark mode is when you are creating a dark mode, you should probably make it have a lighter mode as well, because there are people that dark mode does not really resonate to them, right? Because for me, and from some people, they may not be able to read some numbers on this visual. Say, for example, if I want to read, okay, so the numbers on the probably North America, I think is minus something, but I could probably not read it very well. But if there's another maybe lighter version of this, then everybody will be able to read it perfectly. But aside from that, it's really a great pictorial representative of this.
I don't agree with this dark point, because in dashboard it makes sense, you can give toggle, but because this is an infographic, I think dark makes sense, because if we have a white background with the same color, I mean purple, blue, which is a more neon color, I don't think it will look that good. So in this case, black looks good, and I don't need a white version.
But I think that it's mostly about data labels. And I agree that this thing might be improved, because really they are too small and I need to zoom in. But I see that there are so of course we have these teeny lines, but author could figure out how to display data label larger, maybe with background or any call outs for these values, and make it more visible. And could you suggest alternatives how to represent the same data, the same meaning, but in a simpler way? If we have just BI tool, not so when we automate this report, not draw a picture.
Two numeric values and one category. I mean, two numeric values, skill gain, skill lost, and region is one category. In this case of data set, first visual I can think of is a scatter plot. But once we plot, then we will see, is it actually making that sense or giving that same information? If not, maybe I'll go for some other kind of visual, maybe a pyramid chart in which, you can compare again the same category, but it's actually been used in the previous user. So it's like both sides there's a bar, but you're comparing for same category. So that could another chart I can think of. And then there's a standard visual that we all love, column chart or group bar chart, which makes it very simplified, but you need to just use it in right context. So these are the three visual that comes in my mind.
Okay, so you said pyramid chart.
Yes.
So and I have imagined tornado chart. So
yes, sorry, yeah, tornado. I meant
Tornado,
that.
yes.
so we have this.
Yeah.
We can.
Yes, like that.
That's my improvisation.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
Display this way.
Yeah, thanks for that. Otherwise, I would have taken wrong name.
Really, it's a great idea. I think that tornado might be a good alternative for this data. Okay. Another suggestions, maybe?
Yeah, I think I'll go straight for tornado as well. That's what I was thinking in my head, right? Tornado will definitely work, and scatter chart, like Kavita mentioned, may also work in this angle as well. Yep.
So you mean scatter
Plot
with two
Yep.
axes?
Yeah, both are numeric axes, and then they are bubbles to depict the size of different countries.
So we have the skill people lost on one angle, the skill people gain on another angle. Then we have the location scattered around. Yep.
Okay, for example, North America might be here with people gained and a few people lost.
Yes, something like
Okay,
that.
but we would have the same size of bubbles. So even not bubbles, but dots.
Yeah, so that can now maybe introduce another, probably another thing we can also add to it. So to even tell more story. So maybe we probably kind of add more context to it, maybe population, or maybe see the number of jobs available. Yeah, just to add more information as well. It's even accommodate more information.
Yeah, that's what I'm highlighting, that we need third value to make really storytelling scatter plot.
Mhm.
Maybe another ideas. So I didn't tell about this part before, but it's just an improvisation during our discussion.
Yeah, no, this is good actually. Another visual. I also would like to try heat map, not the conventional heat map, but I always see there's a lot of scope to use a heat map because in that there's no limitation. You can use anything on x-axis, y-axis, basically category. But you need to tweak your data. You cannot use the same raw data. Either you need to create some range or a categorization that, let's say how many people lost, you need to put them some category like low, medium, something. You need to give this more labeling, and then you can create a more better variance for, even you can compare for 2018 and 19, just not this chart, but that 2018-19 context you can bring into the picture. So heat map is something I always prefer, not this exact raw data, but I would like to tweak or create some range within this visual.
Yes, I also love heat maps. Okay, so
Just a table. That's another visual.
Yeah, that's the best.
please make me expert to Excel. Yeah, for this, and for this.
Just create a table, that's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a great phrase for our final, because all we are familiar with data, and to be honest, we don't need special visualization. We can just look through the table or pivot the data, but it's for personal analytics. But when we go and start communication, we need to visualize the data, and it's a very important success factor. So thank you so much for this discussion, and maybe you have some final words for our subscribers. Feel free.
Okay,
This,
so
sorry.
go
Yeah,
ahead,
go ahead.
Kavita, ladies first.
Okay. So the one thing, while looking all these 4 reports, and anyone who's planning to participate this year, one thing you can take up from all these winning reports is the way they are using color. I didn't see any report which is using more than 4 colors. So something to stick by or remember while creating. So that's one thing, yeah, one takeaway from or suggestion from my end to all the listeners.
Okay, from my hand, I think it's similar to what Kavita said. If we will be participating this year, I think based on all the review and the pros and cons that we've mentioned in the dashboard that we reviewed today, I'm sure you can see what to kind of add to your own report. One of the things that was very key and important for me is use simple visualization that people understand easily, right? Because when you do that, people can easily see, okay, so you are trying to tell a very good story. Try and do a lot of more comparison, because when you compare things, it's kind of tell more story, and then use less color and connect to people with your visual.
Connect to people. Great.
Yeah. And to add on to all this, I think one thing which I've learned while working is that, whenever you make a visualization, whenever you make any chart or add any element in your dashboard, always ask the question, what is this telling to your users? What story is this saying? And what analysis is this adding to your dashboard? Because while we obviously know everything in and out. We know the analysis. but always put yourself in the shoes of the user and think what the user will gain out of this dashboard and chart. So there's always should be a data storytelling along with data visualization in your dashboards.
Benchmark, like the guys and ladies gave us some tips. A good benchmark is to show your dashboard to your colleague or to a friend and leave it by itself. If he can or she can understand it, then it's fine. If you need to talk for 10 minutes in order to get the idea, then something is wrong. You need to rework it.
Well, great example. So thank you, my friends. Thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing your experience and highlighting many important points which are above and behind exactly data visualization and building charts, because all we are about business decision making, about communication with data, but not about charts itself. So thank you very much, and see you soon.
Thank you, Alex.